this is my place. My name's Eric. And this is well, I call it the Hong Kong Retro Museum. It's not open to public, so it's not like something you're gonna see on Google Maps or anything. But it is my love and passion.
Yep.
And Leonard, you are one of my friends that come here to play, and I've known you for years. And I have the biggest board game collection in Asia.
So these games, some of them are probably older than you.
Well, not on this floor. So this is it's double sided. It's like 6 meters by 3 meters of board game goodness.
Yeah.
And then I also got another room full of war games. Yeah, and also you see here, it's a retro. It's also analog and digital. So these are my
Fun stuff.
these are my consoles and retro computers. I have a love of all things gaming, and I've known Leonard for years, and I actually know him not from board gaming. I think I know him more for his music production, right? Yes,
Yeah.
war games. Yes, absolutely, war games. So yeah, so now this is the place. So welcome. So here we are. This is my self-designed board game table. I got made from China, and this is the game set up. It's lovely to see that it's gone so far.
Welcome, Leonard. Welcome to my place. You've been here many times.
Yep. It's a great place.
It's high board game power, where it's a social space where we play board games and celebrate video games and gaming of all types, analog and digital. Here we are. This is the ultimate village. You're not your first playing, right?
Not my first baby, but my first Kickstarter project.
Yeah, I remember you asking me about Kickstarter back in the back when you started this.
Yeah.
You are
I know shit about it.
Okay, well, why don't you start with telling us what this is about?
All right. So, like about 2 years ago, I was thinking about doing a board game. And I was wondering what kind of topic is good for it. Obviously, coming from a war game background, I love games with a historical context. And I love the navigation game. And I realized there's actually no game at all it talks about Asian explorer at all. And I feel like Zhang He is a very intriguing character. And
I think it's pretty raw.
well, to some people, but probably not as well known in the West, I suppose.
He's an amazing historical figure. If you haven't seen that, look on YouTube and stuff. There's a whole story behind how he navigated the world, and this is what this game's about, right?
Probably not the world, but at least to Arab and Africa. Yeah, the known world to the Chinese. Yeah. But it's very different from the European perspective, because when you talk about European explorers, like finding new land and conquers and things like that, but Zhang He was more of a diplomatic mission and of maintaining trade with all these countries out in Asia and Africa. So it's a quite a different take. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with China back then being like center of the world, seeing the rest of the world as vassal states.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, after Zhang He, China actually closed its door to the world
Yeah, for hundreds of years.
for probably 500 years until 80s, I suppose. Yeah, so it's quite a fascinating story to. I myself want to know more about it.
Yes.
Yeah, so I read a lot about it. I did a lot of research about it because I want to make sure that this game reflects the historical context correctly. Especially, I'm from Asia. I want to make a game that's authentically Asian.
Yes, I've played other games,
Yeah,
and they are super familiar
yeah.
and very well. I remember you telling me about your Chinese Civil War game, and it was how you were civil resistance, and how you wanted the photos to reflect the time of the game rather than maybe it would have been a photo of Chiang Kai-shek taken after the war. You want it period correct, and I know your attention to detail is amazing.
Well,
How this reflects it in this game before.
yeah, I hope so. I certainly hope so. I try. Yeah.
What about how do you tell the mechanics of this game? It was an evolution, wasn't it?
Well, at first we tried to have a modular map, But I feel like that doesn't give people a very immersive experience because this is a navigation game. You just have to have a map.
I remember before this, you had other prototypes of different games. So you didn't actually come up with this game. I know everybody wants to know about this game, but let's start from the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember you have other ideas of different games altogether before.
Oh yeah, right. It was during COVID actually.
Yeah.
During COVID, I had an idea because I have a love of the Three Kingdoms history. So I started off with a game about Three Kingdoms, and I spent so much time in it.
I was part of the playtest then.
Yeah. He was very helpful in playtesting it. But that game ends up on a sideline because it was too complicated, if I might say, and it was too long. And there was already a lot of Three Kingdoms game, either video games or cell phone games or board game about topics. I don't feel like I should do that anymore because unless I'm adding something new to it, which I may in the future. But before that, I rather do something that I'm interested in and other people are interested in and easy to get into.
I remember, so you told me recently that you played a lot of board games in COVID, right, during COVID. So did that influence the design here?
Yeah. One of the game that a lot of people compare it, Ultimate Voyage to is Art Nova or Civilization New Dawn because they also have these card mechanisms with the cards strength going from 1 to 5. That I got the inspiration from them and I admit it. But one important thing that I change is I try to give more agency to the players. So let's say if I use a card, I don't just use the card, I have to use a deity dial as well. So these dials are refractions of these 3 dice which are rolled every round, meaning it affects every player equally. So you got to choose, let's say my strength of this card is 5. Do I want to max it out with a high value dial, like a +3 to make it 8? Or maybe this is big enough. Or so I just use a -2 to make it a 3, so I can reserve the +3 for a less powerful action. So that's one thing that gives player more agency, and then you can add resource to it. For explore, obviously you need more soldiers. So you add soldiers to it, it add up to your strength, but these resources are not unlimited. You have to build your engine to have more resources along the game. The other difference between this and Art Nova is that you can do the same card twice. Just that the second time you use it, the card have a strength of 0. And the card is not shifted right after your action, but at the end of the round. And you also have the option to choose which card that you haven't used. Let's say I use this 2, so they go to the left. And this 2 go to the right, but I also can choose which card.
That's
That's a change in the
further up.
okay. Of all the mechanics that you described the 2, how the actions work. So is there a mechanic you think in your game that stands out as something uniquely yours?
I think it's a lot of people when they see the dice, they think this is a very random kind of game, like dice throwing game. It's not, because one of the most important design concept is for the dice. Every dice roll is going to affect players equally, or else you are pushing a luck. Let's say you could scout before you go to a port to make sure that it's friendly, so you won't get under fire when you arrive. But if you want to push it up, it's cool. And if my combat strength is strong enough, I don't care. Fight them if they fight me. So there's always a choice for the players.
Risk mitigation.
Risk management. Yeah. You can also scout about these encounters. Some of those have like sea monsters and crazy pirates.
Also, there's like mythical things in this creation.
Oh yeah. You have to expand your mind.
Okay, one of my favorite mechanisms in your whole game is obviously the whole diplomacy, like the historical fact that you have to visit these new lands,
Yeah.
and then do what he faced. Zhang He had to.
Zhang He, it's okay. It's he, but it's pronounced her.
Okay. Jane He had, I found it really good that how Jane He had to face in your game
Uh-huh.
the diplomacy actions, the actions, the sort of bribery actions,
You have to wait
yeah.
when you visit them.
and the fact that you had to bring back animals from the or treasures from the
Yeah, the giraffe.
the giraffe. And my absolute favorite part is the trade winds. I like how that's thematically placed in the game.
That's actually a real fact, which ships still have to concern with when they sail along the Indian Ocean.
Yeah, so that I found that was really clever. His entire artwork. How did you derive this sort of like this vision of the artwork instead of more gritty, realistic, or why this anime look?
Well, I'm a big fan of Studio Ghibli. The animation is just I've watched them since my childhood, and well, while I don't want to exactly copy what they have, I want it to have an Asian vibe to it.
Oh, then I completely understand the clouds. I mean, the clouds on this is Ghibli.
Yes, yes, but I don't want it to look old at the same time. So if you see carefully, you can see like light refractions on stuff and shadows. Those are more modern takes. So it's a combination of the old and the new. Yeah, it's with an obviously Asian theme.
Yeah, I mean, look at this card. I mean, we'll get a probably close up
Yeah.
on the video on this one. Like
Very Ghibli to get to it goes up.
so it's very Ghibli, right? I mean, the playing the lights and the shadows, the way these pots look, this room, very Ghibli. But at the same time, you're right. The shadow, the light playing on them, that's a very modern take on it. Like,
Yeah. We tried so many times on this illustration. I mean, like each and every one, there's at least like 10 different takes of each one.
yeah, I can imagine that. I mean, and you have to get the composition right for the artist. So who did you get to do the artwork? I mean, you didn't do it yourself.
Well, at first we have Fango. Fango is a local illustrator who is specialized in from Hong Kong, yes, who likes to draw a lot of stuff from history. He's more of a historical fanatic than I am, so he has so much attention to details. Like this particular sword, he spends so much time just researching this Arabian sword and the scarves and everything. So everything makes historical sense. So that's him on the character design, the ship and everything. For the cards, since there are so many of them, I start off using AI in which people will see in the prototype. But then I understand a lot of people have their reservation about AI, and apart from that, it doesn't really match with the original illustrations we have for the characters. So we hand those AI files to a real artist in China, and they recreate it with some creative takes on the art, and they become this.
Yeah, I think it's very original. I don't think I've ever seen a board game with exactly this sort of art style.
I don't think so myself. Yeah.
It's very professionally done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So, what about the art? And did the board evolve during the time you?
A little bit. What you're seeing is an older version of it. Well, most importantly, we improve the user interface so that things are clearer. Like we will in the final version of this, we will have an action string track, and the rhyme track is going to look a lot better. And then this bonus tiles will have special places for them. And if you have the deluxe version, the whole game board is going to be bigger, and then it will be double layered so that these tokens will stick to where they are. So hopefully it will be even better.
Well, I'm looking forward to my deluxe version. Right?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so in the final version of this game,
Yeah.
are there going to be any other changes like to the cards? Is there more playtesting going to happen from now to the end?
Well, we are always play testing because we got a lot of requests from players asking me like, "Hey, do we have play tests? Can I try the game?" Well, I try to satisfy everyone, but there's only so much time, and we only have so many copies of the prototypes. I don't want people to have a bad experience because we are evolving the rules. So preferably, you would want to play with the newest version of the game, which you can actually do on Tabletop Simulator.
Oh, I was about to ask. So it's an online.
It is online as well.
Oh, you can definitely play test that.
You can definitely pre-test it with the newest graphics, newest rules, everything online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So far, what's the feedback from your playtest?
It's been awesome. Well, and they gave us a lot of good suggestions. Like before, this trade goods, if you see an elephant,
Yep.
they're all the same.
Okay.
Now, each elephant are different. And the action cards, the upgrades, each upgrade is different. Some card give you, apart from giving you an extra strength, they let you do some extra things as well after they upgraded. So those are feedback from our playtesters and reviewers, which we can't thank enough. Yeah.
As a game player, I think random elements are important in games, but not too much, like you said, right? So you try to give the players more agency, but not to the point of like Puerto Rico, where you can sort of predict what happens. The only randomness is how the players do. Now, so apart from what's the randomness in your game, and how do you mitigate the effects on the whole experience?
All right. Since I came from a war game background,
Yes.
which obviously includes a lot of dice rolling, that's the American side of things, but I also play Euro games. Euro game is like you have a mechanics, and then usually it favors experienced player because, oh, I know this card, I must get this card and I will win. I'll get 30 points from this card.
So you did that a lot.
You do that a lot, and it gives them a advantage that is that feels bad for new players.
Yes.
And then some experienced player will know that a certain combo can only happen if I do this and that and that and that.
Yeah.
And then I have a big combo that earns me 30 points at the end. I am not a big fan of that. All right. So what I come up with is more of a situational strategy because you never know what the dice rolls are. And those are not affecting just you. It affects everyone. So you got to choose how you prepare for it. It's like real life, all right? If the rains come, are you going to get wet, or you bring an umbrella already?
Is that if you get a bad dice roll, can it ruin your experience?
Well, that's where your resources come into beings. That's where you want to have the card, the action that you want to do on the right, so that even if the die roll is bad,
Yes.
you still have a strong card.
Okay.
And then you have resources to add to your card.
So you're rewarded for your risk management.
Exactly.
So if you're a poor player doing no risk management,
Yeah.
you can count on luck. Is that element?
Well, but the luck is affecting everybody.
Oh, okay.
So if the deity, they're called the deity dice, if the deity is looking upon you, it looks upon everybody because we are all captains of the same treasury.
Yeah, now that you mention it, I thought that was funny. Like you use the like a Chinese god thing to.
Yeah, well, not just Chinese God. You know, Yang himself is actually a Muslim as well. Yeah.
So Chinese historical figures were from the Middle East.
Oh yeah.
Yes, John was really cool.
He is really tall. His ancestor is actually from Persia.
Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. Can you tell us? I think everybody wants to know, right? I actually pay the $4,000 from deluxe version. So what's the difference between that and say what's in front of us now?
All right, this is the prototype of the base edition. So the deluxe version, first of all, you got a porcelain tower, not made of porcelain, I'm afraid, but it's going to be like 15 centimeters tall, and it's going to be a dice tower. Because we got so many dice to roll, you can put it in that dice tower, and they will come up beautifully.
Okay, so what about the other bits?
And then the board is going to be bigger.
Okay.
Double layered so that these will stay in places.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Yep. And then all these treasures are gonna be in wood. All these pieces, all these are in wood. Jianghe is gonna be in wood.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So we got like 70 like different wood pieces with tokens.
Okay.
Quite strong.
So you're getting wood tokens, you're getting the dice tower.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're getting a bigger board.
Yep.
And the cards the same.
Dual layer board.
Dual layer board. Okay.
Yep, yep.
And the player boards, are they going to be different?
They're gonna be the same.
They're going to be the same.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Because things doesn't move over there.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So what about when I was prototyping this,
Mhm.
I didn't think the game had an expansion coming. Is there an expansion?
There are going to be 2 expansions, which we have announced.
It's that completely news to me. I mean, I saw it on the Kickstarter.
Uh-huh.
So can you tell me a bit more about the expansion? Are they created already, or being play tested, or is it?
They're currently being played test. Not just an idea. One of them, the first one is about quest cards. So each character is going to start with a couple of quest cards, and once you can satisfy one of them, not both, and it will give you like a permanent advantage, or it give you extra score at the end of the game, like it doubles your score on a certain region. And most of all, it enriches the story, the narratives of your game, because it tells you a little bit about the motivations of why the character is on this voyage. Sometimes, let's say the commander, maybe he wants to retrieve a certain thought from Arab.
Are the quests given at the beginning of the game, or
Yeah, it's given in the beginning of the game, but it's hidden. It's hidden objective.
is there like an open objective at all?
Over objective is right here.
Oh, the ones that were made.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but those hidden objectives is personal, and they don't give you score directly. They either help you with the ongoing mechanics of your games, the engines of the game, or it give you a perks at your victory points.
Okay. So that was one.
That's the first one.
Okay.
And the second one, it gives you 4 extra locations. We will have 4 extra points on the 4 corners.
Okay.
And they will have unique triggered, unique encounters with new illustrations. And those triggers are very special. Let's say in Okinawa, you will have to find,
So this corner will be Japan.
yeah,
So that down here will be.
like the Philippines. Yeah, and then you have Egypt, and then you have Lower Africa.
Yeah. So it's going to add on physically to this map.
Yep.
That makes sense, lah.
Yep. But well,
Some new areas.
I'm not going to review all the secrets, but let's say there's a katana in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, and you have new encounters. Yeah, each are historically unique to that particular location. We did a lot of research of those locations as well.
Okay. I'm looking forward to play. I remember Shanghai had lieutenants, right? And they.
Depends on how you translate it.
Oh, I see.
Some call him an admiral.
Admiral, yeah. And then I remember they had like the boat split when they traveled.
Yeah, they do. Actually, because the fleet consists of over 100 ships.
Yeah.
So sometimes one will go to Africa while the others stay in Arabs. And in the game, thematically, we are all captains of Shanghai. So we go different way.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, that's and also it's I asked about how you make how you had the boats were big enough to have kilns on the boat.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why that makes sense.
Those boats are huge. They're like aircraft carrier of the time.
So Leonard, how do we find out more about your game?
Okay, we are now on Kickstarter. And there are like only a week or so to go. And the deluxe version is going to be Kickstarter exclusive, so don't miss out on that. And we have been quite lucky. We got the Project We Love badge from Kickstarter after a week into our campaign, and we are very thankful for that. If you want to find out more, follow us on social media. Look for Ultimate Voyage. We are on Facebook, IG, X, and Thread, and YouTube, and TikTok.
Okay, so the game's going to go into wider distribution soon after that.
We hope so, but we being an independent publishers, we don't have a lot of networks of retailers.
Okay.
So if you are retailers watching this, email me, please.
Oh, okay, that's really good.
Yeah.
So I assume that you're prepared to print more if it's the Kickstarter. Well, it seems pretty successful so far. and you're gonna have obviously you're gonna put spares.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's gonna go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good. Well, I'm so happy.
Thank you, thank you.
So that
We're very excited for this game to finally come out. It's like our baby.
I actually remember that was my suggestion to go on Kickstarter, and I think you were thinking about it too, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm so glad that you've gone so far, and I know that it's a very big challenge. You told
It is. It is. It's blown
you've told me that it's a lot of work, and then you've got like 6 social media platforms to deal with.
There are only 2 of us working.
Oh yeah, there's only 2. Who's the other person working?
It's shutting.
So Leonard, so do you have any? What's your future plan for your company?
Well, we want to continue making games, especially historical immersive game. I think that will have an audience from around the world because I feel like a lot of people are more receptive to games from different cultures and background. I see a lot of board game with Middle Eastern theme, a lot of board games with even African themes. So people are more receptive these days. They want to know more about the world, and I think board game is a linkage for people from different backgrounds.
Yep.
I might say.
I'm not biased or anything, but yeah, I think I've played a lot of games like with Middle Eastern theme, like European theme. Well, they are called Euros for a reason, and I have to say, I mean, a lot of them don't have the thematic flair as your game.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think you've done a really good job. I'm looking forward to future games with strong themes. Maybe that's the theme of your company.
Yeah. Well, when we start designing a game, there are 2 things that come to mind. First, what kind of story do I want to tell? That comes usually before the mechanics because I think the mechanic should match the story, not the other way around. Not like I have a mechanic and then I'll put a story over it like a skin.
So okay, so not like certain designers that we all love and know and love. Oh, that's really
Some people only care about the mechanics.
yeah. I get it, but yeah, but I think that's not this sort of game. So well, I'm so glad. Has it blown up on Board Game Geek?
Not quite. We still need your support.
Oh, please, everyone. So thank you for this lovely evening.
Yeah, glad to be here.
No, thank you. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoy the place.
Follow us on Kickstarter.